Y'all know what motherfucking time it is? Whoa. So, the other day, yesterday, I was at work, and I have like, so I talked to X, which I don't know if I'm gonna release this before or after I do that whole video talking about me talking to him, but one of the big things he said to me that stood out was that I need to put myself out there, that I need to stand on the corner, and I guess I'm kind of reacting in a way that, like, this might take some self-reflection that would need to happen more in the moment and not really like looking back, but like looking back, have you ever has someone ever like told you something you need to hear, like you really needed to hear and you didn't like it, so you like react badly? You're not gonna just like be all like disciple to Jesus and be like, oh yeah, wow, and like your like whole heart just like changes colors and fucking rainbows shoot out your ass and you just like your whole life changes and it's just fucking great, because that's that's how it fucking works. Well, I have enough self-awareness to understand that my reaction then and my anger that's welling up right now, just thinking about it again, is immature. But so I've been so I've been practicing screaming, right? And I'm okay. Did I not bring another lighter? Awesome. No, I did. So I've been practicing. So I haven't actually been practicing music a lot lately. I've been working on videos, but so I need to just fucking tell the story. So I was all like, I want to scream one day, and I couldn't because there was like customers. But then my manager remembered this yesterday, and we were empty, and so like told me to. So I like warmed up and everything, and then it just it didn't go well. I mean, first of all, I worked myself up and almost did it like 10 times, but I like chickened out. I mean, there was like 4 of my coworkers there, and like, that you're not supposed to care what other people think. That like you just need to relax and just do it and shit. But so I worked myself up like 5 times and just couldn't do it. And by this point, everyone had lost interest and was just talking about other things. They're like closing, and then I was just like, count me down. And then I did it when they counted me down, and I just like fucked up. I mean, I wasn't like that. It wasn't like horrible, it was just like subpar, especially for myself, and it's not like anybody like laughed at me or anything, but they just like went straight back to talking, and and it was embarrassing. It was and that's obviously like, I understand that like the whole point of putting yourself out there is that like you're not gonna put yourself out there the first time and you're just gonna like land feet first and do a fucking somersault and spring up and everyone's gonna cheer and throw $1 million bills at your face. But like, kind of connecting it to something else X said, not to me, but something he would always say was, what is real will prosper. And it's like, I feel like the times, I see motherfuckers coming, I'm gonna walk this way. I feel like the times that I have tried to like be real as shit, it just like, I fall on my fucking face. And it's like, I fucking have enough self-awareness to be like, okay, yeah, I know that you just have to keep trying and just truck on, and like, you'll do better, and you just gotta like ease into it and fucking don't give up and all this shit. But man, in that moment, I wanted to be like, fuck you. I want to be like, What the fuck? What is real will prosper? Dude, no, that is bullshit. What is real does not prosper. Do you live in the same fucking planet that I do? And I'm not even saying this to his spirit or whatever. Like, no disrespect to his spirit. I'm talking to him as if, you know, the living version of him. And it's just like, dude, fuck you. What is real does not prosper. Have you fucking, have you gotten on social media for more than like 13 seconds? Do you see what the like highest grossing films and videos on the internet and video games and interests that like capture people? It's like, no, man, what is real does not fucking prosper, and that's bullshit. And then it's just like I go back and forth. I'm like, well, you know, maybe when I see fucking people like that are shitty, that are prospering, I'm like, you know, 99% of them, I'm like, I want to be like, they're not real. And it's like, hey, maybe they are real. You know, to tie in another rapper, you know, Vince Staples once said something about like, why are y'all, you know, talking about like talking about people being like fake
gamer,
this, fake that. It's like maybe that guy's just supposed to be a fake
gamer,
you know, or whatever. And it's like, you know, part of me wonders, it's like maybe those people are being their authentic selves by being shitty, and that's just like the level they're at right now. And it's like not everybody can be Mr. Real, Mr. Considerate, like a like intellectual powerhouse, you know. And it's just like, I guess it just sucks because like maybe it's like I'm setting such a high standard for myself that I never meet, and it's like maybe I'm just not that great. Maybe I am like being real by being angry, but that's just like stupid. It's like I think that like that it's all about like being better than what your like base instincts are, you know. But it's like, yeah, part of me just wants to be like, fuck you, man. And it's just fucking stupid. And I'm man, it's like I know why my music isn't successful. I know why my videos aren't like, I mean, I haven't been doing it for very long, but I understand why they're not really like hits now and they're not gonna be hits later. I understand why when I try and talk about real shit at work, I understand why people don't really want to talk about it. And it's like, yeah, it's like maybe it is a fucking fucking flaw that I have to just like expect all this much. But it's just like, yeah, it's like I know why my music is not going anywhere, and it's because I'm making a certain type of music, and even my like best that my music could be like that I would fucking love, that I would be really proud of. Because, you know, it's like even my like the content I put out, even if I put out all of my songs right now and I like worked really hard and like comped it for like fucking, you know, weeks and weeks each goddamn song, because it takes me fucking forever to like mix and master a song and shit, you know, and try and get it perfect. It's like, and it still doesn't hit 100%, but even if it did, it's like I'm not stupid. I know that it's not going to be what people want to listen to. You know, I had this one guy that came up to me and he was like flabbergasted that I like wasn't making music to like appeal to everyone. And it's just like really frustrating. It's like, yeah, am I supposed to like dumb down? Am I supposed to like be shitty to like, you know? And like I always thought about the like infiltration tactic to like fix the system, that you like do shit to like get you there, and then when you're there you try and like you like do the good shit, you know. But it's just like I think that people are like easily corruptible, and I'm of course talking about myself. And if for example if I made rap music that I felt like would reach more people, that more people would be listening to in any avenue, it's like, sure, a little bit of it would be faked, but to like really get there, I feel like it would be more than just like a moment of fakeness. It would have to be more than just like one ignorant banger. It's like you have to really like be in that sphere. It's like I would essentially have to like corrupt genuinely a little bit. And it's like I could, like, in the back of my mind being like, oh yeah, I'm making all this like top 40 shitty music, but you know, when I make it, then I'm gonna like drop the bomb and I'm gonna drop all this real shit and I'm gonna like talk about all this real shit. But it's just like, by that point, it's like a part of me will have been tainted, and it's like I don't know if I can trust myself, and I don't know if I can trust anybody else to be able to at that point reel back and like switch to like their uncorrupted true self that they were before they decided to sell out. Like, I wouldn't trust myself to, and I trust myself with like integrity and values a lot more than I trust most people. And obviously I'm not perfect. I've fucking failed moral wise, you know, here and there throughout my life, and I still do, and I still will, you know. But it's like, I'm talking about like big shit. Like, I really just don't think that, like, I just feel like if I'm real as shit, I mean, and I guess it just sucks because, you know, I have all these like megalomaniac dreams of like fighting my way up the fucking hill and like earning myself my own fucking platform where I don't owe anybody shit, and I say what the fuck I want to say and touch people in the way that I want to, and like, you know, get this whole like movement snowballing and shit. And it just sucks because, you know, the reality is maybe that isn't my like true path or fucking whatever. Maybe that's not what I'm meant to do. Maybe I am just meant to like be nice to people in a grassroots way. Maybe you know, the most I can do is just touch the people who are like closest to me. But you know, it's like, and it's like frustrating because like not even just the people who support me the most, you know, I have like 3 to 5 people who like support me a lot. That's being, anyways, but like even people who aren't necessarily like on the Noah train will still occasionally tell me like, hey dude, you know, you're really talented, you're really smart, you're really skillful, you have like something to like offer this world. I've had like strangers just like intuitively like sense something in me, and like that's great, and that makes me like it's like I do want to like do a lot, and it's not just for like narcissistic reasons. It's like I want to fucking change the planet, and it's like, yeah, it's like I want to do maximum change, and it's like, yeah, and the shitty part of me does want to still like, I want to be in a fucking history book. I want to be remembered for like doing the right thing, I guess, and like pushing the envelope and shit. But like, I don't know, it's just like in my head, I want to be like mobilizing large groups of people. I want to be like an enemy of the system. I want to be basically, this is obviously not what I like want, but it's like to achieve what I want. I understand that like, especially in my later life, if I actually got the ball rolling, it's like my like life would be threatened. That would be like a sign of success to me. My life being threatened, you know, like, you know, I look up to people whose like lives are constantly threatened. Like I looked up to X. I look up to like people like Asada and Martin Luther King Jr. and the Black Panthers, and I look up to like Julian Assange and all those like WikiLeaks people. I look up to the people who like the system is scared of, that they like they want them fucking like either comedified or like defanged or dead, or hopefully all three, you know? You know, I look up to all these people, and I'm barely scratching the surface, you know, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, what if all that I'm really truly supposed to do is like pet dogs and like hold open the door for old ladies? You know what I mean? I mean, that just fucking sucks. I just feel like that's like a waste of my like potential and shit. But it's like, what if that is what I'm meant to do? I guess it's just really hard, like, becoming an adult, and like, yeah, like, I've tried really hard to like keep my dreams and my childhood whimsies and shit, but it's just like, not everybody's a fucking astronaut. And you know, I tell myself, well, the people who don't, you know, be an astronaut or whatever their fucking dream is, it's just like, you know, you're told that like you can achieve your dreams even in an adult realistic way. It's just like really hard and you have to make like sacrifices, but they don't necessarily say what the sacrifices are. So what comes to mind is like, oh, okay, my time, my energy, blah blah blah. And it's like, no, what if you have to sacrifice your fucking integrity? What if you have to sacrifice your goddamn soul? You know, it's like I think about like artists. It's like you can be a visual artist today, but it's like you're gonna do what, like make storyboards or a graphic design and shit, and you're just gonna be like doing shit where you like barely have any creative input. You're just a tool that like someone with a hell of a lot more money than you uses to like make something creative, and then they spit in your face and give you $5, slap you on the ass, and send you on your way. Like that is sacrificing integrity. It's like, you know, I think of like some kid, some like boy or girl who's like really great at drawing, and they love drawing, and it's like they think that, and they're really good at it, and they're not afraid of like hard work. It's like there's a lot of people who aren't afraid of hard work. You know, there's a lot of people from every every sector of life that are not afraid of hard work. You know, it's like I'm not afraid of hard work. It's like I would work under slave conditions if I felt like it was like towards a good cause. But it's like, yeah, it's like if I wanted to like draw professionally, for example, and you know, I'm not like the best drawer, and that's not my dream, but you know, as an example, like I don't want to like make logos for little like budding businesses. I don't want to like graphic design for some blockbuster film, you know, because to do those things, you have to sacrifice your integrity. You have to make yourself fucking palatable. You know, you have to make yourself, you have to, the nature of the work is the people that are hiring you are chasing that mainstream appeal. They're chasing like maximum dollar sign. They're not fucking, you know, things like themes and lessons and statements, you know, political or social statements, or like, you know, just bigger things like true emotions and shit like that. It's like those things are secondary to them. They will, yes, like incorporate those things into their product, but they will only incorporate those things if it's profitable. And it's like, yeah, sometimes you get lucky. It's like, I really think X was who the fuck he was. I don't think X really faked anything, at least any more than like a normal like person does. I mean, like I consider myself pretty real, but it's like, you know, like I'm sure everybody's asked themselves like, who am I? Like, what is my real self? And it's like, I think it's this elusive like image that you can never really like capture, you know. It's like, I don't think I'm ever gonna wake up one day and just be like, wow, I'm 100% myself. You know, it's like, I'm like talking to this camera. I'm thinking about how I'm talking to this camera and how someone might like watch it. I'm not like thinking about that like consciously, but it's still in like the back of my head. It's still affecting how I do, you know. It's like, what if like my true unfiltered like inaccessible self is like rolling around on the ground screaming? You know, you can't fucking know. Like, and you know, I also think there's many like true versions of yourself. It's like, maybe that's one version of myself. Maybe one version of myself is a totally like self-centered fucking megalomaniac. You know, what if a true version of myself is like homeless, like, what is it called, like asceticism? Yeah, like what am I supposed to like sit on a fucking mountaintop and meditate for like 20 years, come back and say a couple like nice quippy, you know, pop wise things for people to like water down and like misinterpret and shit. Off topic, I fucking hate the pop positivity movement, the like fake positivity, the toxic positivity. I'm using words that both I've coined and my girlfriend's coined and one of her friends coined, but I should do a whole ass video on that separately. I don't know. There's no reason to keep this running if I run out of things, so I'll just keep talking until I get home, you know. I mean, you know, it's just hard. It's like hard to like want to do real good in the world and like to set out and like actually try and do something. Because, you know, especially when like you get like super woke and shit and you realize that like lifestyleism doesn't do anything. It's like, yeah, it's like I could put a lot of energy into being like a vegetarian and like biking everywhere, but it's like at the end of the day in the world stage that does like little to nothing, you know. I've been like harassing people trying to talk to them about like leftist issues or stuff, but I've realized it's like it's fucking hard. You can't just grab a random person, even if it's someone you like kind of know, and just be like, because, you know, there's so many things. It's like, first of all, people have their own like values and worldview and shit that's already like set, you know, especially if they're an adult. You know, people have their own like vast array of influences that are, you know, toying with their mind on the fucking daily. And, you know, the problem is it's like, yeah, it's like I'm not a good like person to necessarily do that. It's like I don't have very good speaking skills, especially like, you know, the more the merrier. The more people I'm talking to, the less I'm gonna be like effectively communicating my ideas. And it's like, if you gave me any retort to any of my ideas in like a text or on paper, it's like I could fucking rip that shit up. But if you say it to me in real life, it's like, you know, my brain freezes up. I can't like remember all the little statistics and rhetoric and this and that. Like, you know, I've been learning a lot about like logical fallacies and like debate and shit, but it's like, and you know, that's great when you're like on a flame war in the internet, but like, that's another thing, flame, it's like, it's so like, it's one thing to try and reach out to people I know, but it's another thing to try and reach people on the internet, because it's just like, God, there's just so much like shit, and it's like, you know, you just try and think about like, how can I actually just change this person's mind? My goal when I enter a like shit fest on the internet is not to like put people down or just like assert that I'm like, you know, Mr. Big Brain, you know, holier than thou and shit, but it's like, it's fucking hard. It's like, people are fucking rotten ass motherfuckers. It's hard to keep your cool. It's hard to like keep the big things in mind, the like long game. You know, it's also like hard because it's just like, I mean, it's the 21st century. Like, there's a lot of fucking past that has like happened on this earth to like take into account, because it's like I've invented like concepts in my head and shit, maybe just like words or like thoughts, or yeah, like maybe I can't even put words to it, but like a concept I have in my head, and you know, I think like, wow, I'm such a genius, or like some shit, you know? And then come to find out, like a week later, a month later, a year later, like it's already a whole ass concept that's like fleshed out. You know what I mean? You know, it's like really hard to be original, and it just really sucks to like finally think you came up with something original, something to like help push something forward, you know, like, and then just find out that it's like already been being talked about, you know? Like, it's, you know, I mean, not even, I mean, I'm mostly talking about like leftism and like psychology when I talk about those kind of things, sociology, but like, even to go back and talk about like rap, it's like, I remember in 2017, I was playing around with effects on different things in Fruity Loops, and I put distortion on a bass. And I was like, huh, you know, this kind of like is really weird, and I feel like 90% of people wouldn't like it, but there's something I really do like about it, and like maybe I should like explore this concept later of like using a distortion on a bass. And, you know, not just like soft like saturation, you know, the distortion that is now like a really popular thing in alternative underground rap. The like, and it's like, I'm not gonna pretend like I made that up, you know, and I'm not saying I never heard a song that like used that, but you know, I just like, I threw it on and I was like, I really like this. I feel like you can make like a hard ass song with this or some shit, and like some like experimental like new motherfucking shit. And, you know, sitting on this, just like confident that like, wow, I have like this like awesome idea that I'm gonna like mobilize one day and like be known for and shit. And then like, you know, sitting around, a year passes, 2 years, whatever, and it's already a fucking thing. It already was a thing. Like, you know, the underground was already using it. I didn't know it. I wasn't listening to underground rap at the time. I don't really think I heard any. You know, I only listened to like big name artists. But then when that niche started getting popular and you hear it, I got like pissed off for a second. You know, part of me was like, wow, this is so fucking cool, yeah. But then a part of me was like, wait, this was my idea. And of course it's not my fucking idea. Just like, God. And like, I don't know, I could expand the whole concept of originality like a lot further than like Earth or like this reality, but that's some like, that's a whole nother fucking conversation. I mean, yeah, let's reel it in. Like, let's not do that right now. I don't know, I gotta go to work. Gucci.